Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday.
Hello, hello. Can we talk about how we have an intro so it's not awkward for the live to start and we're not like staring, but then we're staring at each other waiting for the intro to
It is kind of, yeah, it's like, um, but it is less awkward than it was when we first started this years ago. So,
super much. It's
and at some
exciting.
point in time, I want us to look back on what our first like live was. I'm sure it's on one of our YouTubes, right?
Yeah, it's on both of our YouTubes for sure. And I think
Um,
that was before that was when I was doing the mini series with all the different people. We did that before we did this.
yeah, that is true. That is true.
So,
That was a hot minute ago.
yeah.
But yes, let's look that up and see if we can find old clips. For me, it seems like super long ago that I was even doing the painting ones, those ones that I did by myself for a while, where I
hmm
would paint and then talk over it.
I mean, that was the
Um,
beginning of this. So, I mean,
yeah,
not this one, but
but
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that was, yeah. Did I tell you that I had people think that I was actually like painting and talking at the same time? I'm like, people,
Oh,
I don't have that much talent. What the flip? Um,
that's odd to me that people don't recognize the
that my
mechanics.
hands aren't moving while I'm talking. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, that your hands
Um,
aren't moving. And the mechanics, just the
right.
mechanics of it, right? Like, how do you put together a video? What does it take? And the thought that because my video was just me talking, your video was you sitting in there, but the it really becomes that mechanics of what does it take, one, to come up with the idea of how you
Yeah.
want the video to be presented, two, to make sure that because you had you in one, you recorded
And then, like,
twice.
yeah, I would record my painting and then I would record me talking. And like where you are would be the painting. And so you could watch that while I'm talking because I've said it for years. HR is boring. You got to be doing something else while you're doing HR, leadership, business conversations. It's like, oh, Lord, right? It's very boring. So you either need to be super lively, make it short, or have something else for them to watch.
Yeah.
So,
And so that thought process going into what does that live look like? How do I want to present myself? That's your branding, that's your space, right?
sure.
And I love that. Maybe we can do some reels with some coloring book pages because I have coloring books. I forgot to grab them. I was gonna grab them and show them. I'm so excited. I have coloring books now. They're too far. I'll show them next week. I
Okay.
wasn't ready. But, anyways, I digress. We actually have a topic that we picked.
We did.
What?
And this is not
Okay.
it. Uh,
No.
your branding of videos was not it. However, good topic. So, today's topic is the concept of like quid pro quo, right? This for that. And in in the networking world, and I'm going generically because this is not a new thing per se. Um, but there's a concept of if you buy my product or my service, I'll buy your product or service. And I'm going to start because my services, and I hate the word generic, but I can't use a different word, are more specific than Brittany's services. Technically, accountability and tech support is everybody, right? Like everyone should be held accountable to themselves, to their work, to their goals, their aspirations. And you need to figure out how to hold yourself accountable and be in line with that, right? And everyone needs tech support at some point. Now, you don't market to everyone. I get that, right? Like you can't, but technically anyone could use your services. My services are a little more niche. right? Not everybody is going to want leadership training. Not everyone needs HR policies and procedures. Not everybody needs this type of thing. So when you go into a networking meeting or you meet somebody new, do you ever have this happen to you where somebody's like, oh, I need your services, but I can't afford them, so let's trade? Or something similar?
Yeah, and I have done, my website is a trade with Kat Markell. She did my 90-day program and she built me a website. Websites are expensive. And she did an amazing job on mine. So we've done like that. That has worked out very well. I just recently did a trade that did not benefit me. So that was that one that like leads into kind of a different conversation, but sometimes you think that you're going to work with people and it doesn't work out, right? And then in that case, if you've already done your side, well, oops.
Right.
Well, oops. So there's a lot, but when you're talking about that quid pro quo, right? One of the things that is really important is that when we're networking, we have to find the people who are our clientele. And
Sure.
as business owners who are online networking, there's sometimes you can find, so like you said, I have a very wide variety, so I can help almost anybody, right? And
Mhm.
then you have the other people who have less and different things. But depending on where your networking is going to depend on who you find. And if you go to a BNI, that is based off quid pro quo.
Mm.
You pay for that quid
I
pro
have
quo.
heard. Yeah.
BNIs, you are required to send
Refer
people
people and send
referrals.
people. Yeah.
And so it is a quid pro quo. I pay this group, and then everybody in this group then sends me referrals and I send out referrals. But it becomes very niche because if there's a plumber in the group, I can send 5 people to a plumber because all of their water pipes froze this week, right?
Right.
But I can't send anybody in the travel industry because I didn't talk to anybody who's going on vacation. So you might be putting in money into a group, but you're not getting back those referrals because they are meeting their quote unquote quota and you're not a part of it.
Sure, sure. I think though, no, 100% BNI. People should join it if they want to talk to somebody that's already in it to make sure it's a right fit for you. With, I'm trying not to give the specific example that happened this week.
Okay, I have one for you without that example.
Okay.
Okay. So, so Lydia has baskets.
Yes.
And Lydia is so Lydia has baskets, and Lydia is also a part of a community. But inside of that community, they do a lot of barter and trade, right? So if somebody wants Lydia's baskets and they are say they're somebody who wants Lydia's baskets is a car dealership. Well, Lydia doesn't need a car. And
No.
they're like, oh, well, we want 100 baskets. And Lydia's like, well, I need oil changes, right? She could go to the dealership to get oil changes. But if they're like, oh, well, no, we don't give our oil changes away. We only have cars for barter, right? Or for trade. Well, Lydia doesn't need that. So now that's not a good match. And they're going to either have to purchase her basket or they're not, right? And I feel like there's a lot of people out there who have, let's look at different services. You have SEO. Everybody needs SEO unless you just have a landing. Like, SEO is something that everybody needs.
Yes.
Then you have products that are coloring books. Sarah, I love my coloring books, but not every adult likes to color. So
Right.
now you're put into a position of, you couldn't quid pro quo your coloring books. Also,
Right.
I came to Sarah and I was like, Sarah, I want your coloring books. I will give you an hour of my time. Well, my time's $165. Sarah does not need my time because Sarah, in essence, does my job. Like, Sarah does what I do. Her and I are, she's a little bit better than me, guys, but we're pretty equal in all of the fronts of services, right? I mean, she does a lot more in the HR realm. She does a lot more in the leadership realm. I stick really down in that realm of ownership and how you own and run your business, while she's like, let's hone in on these spaces. And
Yeah.
she does have some ownership products as well. But she's not going to give me, I'm not going to take $50 worth of coloring books for $165 worth of service. And also, she's not my client. She's my bestie. So so we give each other advice for free and I never take hers cuz my brain's broken. But we're
Anyways,
on what
but
guys. We're
but
on.
it's also, I want to go into like, it's about the products that you would use. So I'm going to go with, there's two types of people. And there's the person that expects you to buy their stuff. And to tell you the truth, those people, the guts on them or whatever to think that their product is amazing and everybody should buy their product. But those are the people that I've literally been told, if you buy my product, I'll buy yours. To me, that defeats the purpose. If you don't need coloring books and that's my tangible product, right? I don't want you to buy them, right? If this isn't something that you find cute or intriguing or necessary or whatever word, I don't want you to buy them, right?
Yeah.
If you find them cute or necessary or warranted for your company, or I've had people say that they want to buy them for their kids. You get my point? I don't know, the actual words in the coloring book won't apply much to children, but the coloring pages are cute and they can color them. But I've had people that are literally like, buy my product because I buy yours. And now I'm going to tell you the opposite of the story that I did want to say. But so, Furna. Furna is a Shaklee ambassador. And to tell you the truth, before I started working for Furna, I'm not entirely sure I ever even heard of Shaklee, right? Like, I may have, like, somewhere way in the back somewhere. I'm from Michigan with Amway, so every network marketing group has made its way to Michigan at some point. But when I started to talk to her and I've started to work with her, she literally just exudes passion for this one cleaning product. Now, she exudes passion for all of her products, but she's like, I've used this product forever. It does everything. It, like, it cleans your car and like, I'm joking, but it's like one of those multifaceted tools. It does everything, right? I wash, I squeegee, I whatever. But it took me a couple of months of hearing her say this. It's not like she says it all the time. That's not my point. Of hearing her say this a couple of times. And then finally I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm actually waiting for it to come. I ordered it only 24 hours ago. It's not Amazon. It takes a couple of days to get to you. You can't do overnight delivery. So to me, it wasn't even about like, she didn't buy my product. I mean, sorry, she did, but it wasn't, she didn't buy my product and then say, Sarah, you need to buy something. You get my point?
No, Ferna did surprise us with the coloring books the other day.
Right. But she didn't even tell me she bought them till she got them. But it wasn't a, hey, I bought your product. Now when are you buying mine?
Yeah.
Right? It was, I don't know. Am I explaining right? I feel like I rambled.
Here's the thing. There are two different types of networking, and we've had this conversation before. There's people who go into network to sell, and there's people who go into network to build relationships and create a conversation, right? And Terry is a great example of this. So Terry has been networking and she's just been collecting people. And recently she's like, okay, I really need to hone in on this conversation, and I need to know what this conversation is. Are you a referral person? Are you somebody who's going to be a friend and a networker? Are you somebody who wants to be a part of my team? And are you somebody who's traveling and wants travel services, right? So now she goes into every conversation with these three things in mind. I feel like, and you can see that in how she posts, right? And like you said, if Ferna was posting about a product that she uses and she made sure that that post was, being seen every once in a while, now we've seen it a few times and we're like, oh, it's only $12. Because there's times when you go in and you see a product that somebody's trying to get you to purchase, and you're like, I am not buying a $50 mascara.
Right. Exactly.
You're out of your mind, right? And so when you're like, oh, I can buy, you said it was like whatever cleaning.
No, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember the price. So
yeah,
don't.
But it's more
very
bulk, right?
Very, very inexpensive for a bulk amount of concentrate. Yeah. And it is a great price. So I don't work for Shaklee, but if you want bulk cleaning products, you should go talk to Ferna. I'm putting her
right
here.
And so had we seen her kind of marketing that a little bit in that direction, right? Maybe those 3 times of seeing it would have been sooner. And that leads into when you're marketing, people have to know, like, and trust you. And so when you're networking, if you go with a quick pro quo, now I just feel like you're a sleepy Carsman salesman trying to give me a lemon, right? But when you go into the conversation and we are talking and communicating and creating friendships, and I mean, we're in Forrest's project. Forrest is doing this amazing financial group, and you and I have talked to Forrest, and we actually were his beta testers for it.
Yeah, back in the day. And again, I keep mentioning people. We mentioned Forrest tonight, 6 p.m. Central. If you want to start joining, you got to reach out to Forrest, reach out to us or Forrest to find Forrest's information on that.
Yeah, and so now it's a full-blown group program, and we're a part of it because Forrest is somebody who we know, like, and trust. Lisa, another financial person, has something going on tomorrow inside of the network or inside of accountability BizStorming, but they've all become really good friends of ours. They've all become people who we converse with, and that is a completely different story than you buy mine, I buy yours, especially because when you're networking, you might think everybody needs cleaning products, but they might have a housekeeper, and that housekeeper has to use whatever they're using because they're allergic, right? You might think that everybody needs your product, but they really like Pine Sol. So let them use their Pine Sol. When you become friends, they might have people who need your stuff. When you are networking, it's okay to have a circle of people who are just your referral people. But the approach of Quick Pro Quo is very difficult. And it's not always an even thing. And so you really want to look at, what does this work for me? And we're going to call me out. I give away so much of my time and so much of my energy because that's just who I am. I don't know how to not be that way. But guard yourselves. I'm getting better.
Yes, but we both have this problem. Her problem is she'll give away hours and hours and hours for free. My problem is I can't not answer a question, right? So if you're in a room with me and you just ask a question, I'll be like, bleh. Oh yeah, you were supposed to pay for that. Damn it.
And after answering 30 questions, that was a whole hour, but it just happened to take up like 4 days. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah.
So I do want to touch base because, again, these things, the things we talk about happen usually in the week that we're having this, with the exception of the 2 we pre-recorded that turned out funny. All right, so we work better on the spur of the moment. But I want to go back to know, like, and trust, okay, in the business world, Okay. So I'm going to bring up Lydia again because she's a perfect example of this. Okay. I have never met Lydia in person in my life. I mean, technically, I've never met you in person in my life, but I've never met her in person. I've talked to her maybe 10 times directly, right? But never a one on one, right? It's always been in a room with you or other people, right? I couldn't tell you her children's names. Okay. I couldn't tell you if she has an animal, right? I don't know any of these things. I know she makes amazing baskets, and I know Brittany loves her. And I know Linda loves her. So Linda is another of our little circle of humans. But knowing Lydia, I don't know if I would consider saying, I know of her. I don't know if I know her. I like her because you like her, and I trust her because you trust her. And the reason I say this is because somebody this week was like, well, unless I actually know you and I've built a relationship with you, I can't refer you. I would refer Lydia to anyone based on what I know of her skill set, what I know of how she interacts with other people, and what I know about her business as a whole, right? I don't need to know her kids and her third cousin's name and does she have a dog, right? Now, are those fun facts to know about people? Yeah, but that relationship is what you have with her. I don't need that relationship with Lydia. And I hope she understands what I'm saying. I think she does, like if she's watching this. I would still refer her to anyone. So I think relationship in business needs to be viewed a little bit differently along that know, like, and trust than it is in a friendship or a personal manner. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. And that's why like when I refer people to people, I'm like, "Hey, I know this person. I've talked to them. They have done this, this, and this, and I've personally seen this and this." And I let them know what my history with a person is. And there's sometimes where I say, "Hey, this is this is one of the places that I like to spend some of my time in. However, it does come with these things that are not of favor, but I know that I find value inside of being in this space. There are things that I have to put up with." And so I make sure, good, bad, or indifferent, like, you know how I feel about something that I'm
Mm-hmm.
sending you to. That way you can make your mind up, but you are also, I'm not just saying, "Hey, go, you know, Alignable. Let's talk about it." We know that I have some Alignable stories that I'm probably not ever going to take public because that is neither here nor there. Good, bad, or indifference, I think that Alignable is a great space for people to go and meet people. The Quick Connects, I don't agree with, but there's a lot of groups that are doing more
Yeah.
personable meetings than those Quick Connects. Um, the in-person, I think that if you're not an ambassador and you can go be in person, go be in person. I don't think that the ambassadorship is worth that. So, just create meetups, go do things. So Alignable is a
Mm-hmm.
great way for people to meet people, and we've had a lot of traffic from Alignable. However, I'm not paying $100 a month for 3 new people to come join our network all the time. So I
No.
can be in Alignable for free. I can network with people. I can drive traffic to us for free. And then, and I highly suggest that with anybody. So I tell people, collect emails and then you get free connections with people in Alignable. You don't have to, right? So you
Sure.
talk about what the good is when you're referring things, and you talk about what, hey, this is my real life experience here. That allows somebody full knowledge of what they're getting into and what they're doing. And so just like if somebody was to say, "Hey, Sarah, I want to sell a journal on Amazon," Sarah would say, "Hey, these are some things." I would say, "Hey, I've seen, I remember Sarah saying something about like if you sell on Amazon, you have to sign a contract. You're not gonna, you can't sell in different
There's,
spaces or
yeah,
whatever."
yeah. There's a lot of rules.
Yeah, and so you want to look at what does that look like, right? And
Mm-hmm.
how do I make this work for myself? So with that conversation of referrals, if somebody quick pro quoted you, I'd be like, hey, you know what? I really like this person. They they have a product that might be nice, might be a good fit for you, and you might want to talk to them about that product. Also, just be kind of aware that they are more of a seller than a connection, right? And so that's kind of that conversation that you would have with people. And when somebody does that to you, I think that really the conversation is, you know what, this is how I feel. And sometimes we were talking about Alignable, when you're stuck in a room with somebody for a quick connect, you're
Right.
stuck there for a minute or 2 minutes and they're just selling to you and you can't do anything. I don't know if they fixed the glitch. I haven't been in for a minute. But you want to make sure that you're always safe when you're talking to somebody. And if you need to leave an environment, leave an environment.
Right.
Because there are people out there that are just trying to sell and it might work for them. And I'm sorry for the people who allow it to work. This goes with our other conversation of when there's snow outside and you go to the store, we feed into them, that we gave them money when they should be closed. So they're always going to try to be open. And so if people give into that peer pressure and they give into those quick pro quos, then it's just enabling that conversation. And so maybe the conversation, and that's why Sarah and I had this today, is look at how you are reaching out. What is the intent of the reach out? And be honest. Terry literally fixed her whole spiel when she's talking to people of making sure she knows if they fall in line in one of those 3 spaces, so she knows how to give them time and energy.
Sure. And I think we just need to, the overarching concept of this is never expect somebody is going to buy your product. Now, in your marketing, yes, right? Like when you're on LinkedIn and marketing or Facebook marketing, you should be like, my product is the greatest. Everyone should use it. But when you're one-on-one with somebody or in a group setting with people, it shouldn't be that expectation that they're going to want your product, right? You need to make sure that you're not alluding to that or even saying it directly, which happened to me this week at one point. It was said to me directly. And it's like, no, that's not what we're here to do. And I think we need to just think about how we're addressing those in one-on-one and group settings.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. What are your final thoughts of the day? You don't have to introduce yourself. If people are watching, they don't know who we are, check out one of these people I put in there and ask them who we are. I'm joking. Sorry. But yes, how do we want to end this?
I think that the ending is really, Keystone Network. We are bringing a voice to business owners. We are allowing space for those conversations that do not actually get said a lot. And we give a lot of space and recognition to business owners, as well as we have that virtual office. So come check us out for co-working or even getting your own space where you can host your own personalized meetings. And then because, Sarah and I are phenomenal, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us while we go through these conversations. We are on both of each other's YouTubes. So find us and we look forward to seeing you guys. Thank you so much.
All righty. Yes. And I'm going to add one thing to that. If you like to have conversations with people and have them to be unscripted and just fun and all of that, we have co-working times throughout the week. We want you to join. We both work from home. And while Brittany has a few people in her house at the moment, 90% of the time we're working alone and we need people to just engage with. It's not even always about collaboration or, all of that. It's just talking to people. So if you need that, come join us.
Yep. Love it. See you guys next week.
1 2 1 2, need my attitude. 3 4 3 4, check my latitude.